started recording. So this is lab assignment 1. Let us read the problem statement. So you have been given a diagram here. You can see that this is a single story, single bay frame, and equipment load of 7 kilonewton per meter square is acting on the slab. Slab thickness is given as 150 mm. The slab is made up of RCC. Each of the columns are of the sizes 300 by 300 mm. Floor finish is 1 kilonewton per meter square, and the grade of concrete used is M40. This all the data has been given, and you have been asked to compute the natural frequency of the system for vibration in X direction. Now, the second question is interesting. If a damping is 25% of critical damping, compute time required to diminish the amplitude of oscillation to 1/4 when disturbed from mean position. So what we are going to do is we are going to first convert this system into a single degree of freedom system. So how are we going to do that? So let us compute the mass of the system first. So as you can see, these columns have relatively less mass when compared to the mass of slab. We will compute mass of slab and mass on the slab. So let us first compute mass in computation of mass. First point is self weight of slab, self weight of slab. So let me try to find out what is the self weight of slab. So how do I do that? I know the thickness, I know the plan dimensions. Plan dimensions of the slab are 2 meter by 2 meter. Thickness is 150 mm. So the volume of the slab is 2 meter multiplied by 2 meter multiplied by 0.15. This is the volume of the slab. And it is given that the slab is made up of RCC. So what is the density of RCC? Density of RCC is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. You are already aware of that. So let me multiply this by 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So this will give me the weight of the slab. So weight, and we are interested in the mass of the slab and not the self weight of the slab. So I will replace this by the word mass. So what is mass of the slab? So this multiplied by 1000. Why did I multiply by 1000? Because then this number becomes in the unit Newton per meter cube. पहले किलो न्यूटन पर मीटर क्यूब में था, इसको 1000 से मल्टीप्लाई किया, we are getting it in Newton per meter cube, and this divided by 9.81. This is going to give me the mass of the slab in kg. So let us try to compute this. Let me start calculator. 1 minute. Are you with me till this point? Please type your response in chat box so that I can understand. यहाँ तक कोई प्रॉब्लम है? Please type your response in chat box. Okay, so 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 0.15 multiplied by 25 into 1000 divided by 9.81. So that gives me the mass as 1529 kg. 1529 kg. So please do these calculations independently and give me the confirmation if my calculation is right. Once you give the confirmation saying yes, calculation is correct, then I will go ahead. Is this correct? Okay. So now let us go ahead with the second part in mass calculation. You are going to have the mass due to floor finish as well. So mass corresponding to floor finish. So mass corresponding to floor finish. So how do I calculate that? To calculate the mass corresponding to floor finish, I know it is 1 kilonewton per meter square. The area of slab is 2 into 2. So you can observe that 2 into 2 into 1 into 1000. This is the weight of floor finish in Newton. This divided by 9.81 will give me the mass due to floor finish in kg. So how much is that? So let us do that. 4,000. It is 4,000 divided by 9.81. So if I am right, it is 407.7 kg. Let me know if it is correct, then I will proceed. Correct. Okay. Then let us go to the third calculation. In addition to these masses, this slab also has a equipment load. So equipment has been kept on this slab. So what is the mass corresponding to that equipment? It is intensity is 7 kilonewton per meter square. So mass corresponding to equipment. Let us calculate that. Equipment. So mass corresponding to equipment will be 7 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. This is the area of slab, 2 into 2. 7 is the intensity in kilonewton per meter square. So I have to multiply this by 1000 and divide it by 9.81 to get the mass. So it is going to be 28,000 divided by 9.81. Let me know if I am correct. It is 2854 kg. 2854. Of course, 0.23 is there. That's all right. 0.23 kg. So what is the total mass? Total mass of the system, if I were to calculate, I have to add up all these three things. So total, mind you, there is no partial safety factor to be applied here because we are not dealing with the design problem. We are only dealing with the structural dynamics problem where all these numbers are deterministic. We are not going to apply any partial safety factor here. So total mass is going to be equal to, chalo, let us sum it up. So 1529 plus 407.7 plus 2854.23. So this turns out to be 4791. Please let me know if it is correct. 4791 kg. Yes. So this is the mass of the slab and this is mass of the floor, mass of the equipment. Now there is one more contribution towards mass. Total, this is total mass at floor level. Floor level. But columns are also going to weigh something. So let us try to find out what is the mass of the columns. So I'm going to incorporate mass of the columns. So how do I compute mass of the columns? There are 4 number of columns. So therefore this 4 multiplied by what is the dimension of the column? It is given that the column is of the dimension 0.3 meter by 0.3 meter. So 4 into 0.3 into 0.3. And what is the height of each column? Height of each column is given as 3 meter. So therefore this multiplied by 3. This becomes the volume of all the 4 columns together. This multiplied by 25 multiplied by 1000. This will be the weight of the column. This divided by 9.81. This is going to be the mass of columns. So let me compute that. So it is going to be 4 into 0.3 into 0.3 into 3 into 25 into 1000 divided by 9.81. So how much are you getting this? Please let me know. 4 into, this is huge. So what is the value you are getting? Can you tell me? 4 into 0.3 into 0.3 into 3 meter. Yes. Into 25. Okay. Uh, So are you getting it as 2752? Let me know. Yes, so it is 2752 kg. Just give me a second. Yeah. So 2752 kg, it is almost comparable with 2752.29. Okay. 2752.29 kg is comparable with this total mass 2854.23 kg. That's all right. But now you have to understand the difference between these two masses. Uh, you can see that uh, the mass that we have calculated in first 3 points, that is entirely present at the floor level, whereas the mass of column that we have calculated is present all along its length. Do you agree with me? Please type your response in chat box. The mass of column is distributed all along the length, but whereas the mass of the slab is present and mass of the floor finish and mass of equipment is present only at the floor level. Now what we are going to do is we are going to distribute this mass at two levels. One is floor level and another is ground level. For simplification, of course, for simplification, we are going to distribute this mass at two levels. How do we distribute? There is no bias as such. The column is of uniform cross section. Therefore, I am going to say half of the length of the columns would contribute to the mass at floor level, and half of the mass of the column will contribute to the ground level. So that's what I am going to do. So half of the mass goes to the floor level and half of the mass goes to the ground level. So what is the contribution? So let us do that. So it is 2752.29 by 2. So it is 1376. So 1376 kg goes to the floor level and 1376.14, yes, of course, 0.14 kg goes to the ground level, which is fixed. 14 kg. Now, so what we are trying to do is we are trying to translate this system into a single degree of freedom system that we have already learned in the class. So इसको किसमें translate करना चाहते हैं हम? We want to transform this system. इसका transformation मैं अब आपको दिखाता हूँ. I want to transform this system into a system like this, where we have a mass element. These are the wheels which are frictionless. They are resting on the frictionless surface. Then you have a stiffness K. You have a damper with damping coefficient C. And this is fixed. So this fixed support here mimics the ground. I hope you understand. This is ground. Now अब जरा देखो वाइब्रेशन कौन से डायरेक्शन में बोला है? Compute the natural frequency of the system for vibration in x direction. That means you are going to pull this system in x direction and you are going to leave it, and you are going to allow it to vibrate in x direction. So therefore यहाँ पे ये direction कौन सा हो जाएगा? This direction becomes now x direction. I hope you understand this. If you are understanding the similarity between these two models, please, till now, please type your response in chat box as yes. I am waiting for the response, then I will go ahead. Yes. Okay. And now the displacement of the mass, displacement of the mass, displacement of the mass in x direction, I am going to call it as u of t. So how does u of t is shown in this diagram? So if this is the centroid of the slab, I show u of t in this fashion. So this slab is going to be pulled in x direction and then it is released. So it is going to keep on vibrating about the mean position in x direction. Do you agree with me? And u of t is seen in this fashion. Happy? In other words, what we are trying to say is this mass is allowed to move only in x direction. We are not allowing it to move in y direction. We are not allowing it to move in z direction. We are not allowing it to rotate about x axis, y axis, and z axis. When such is the case that you have uh, a lumped mass in a system which is amenable for its motion only in one direction, we call such system as single degree of freedom system. What is degree of freedom? Degree of freedom associated with the mass element is the way in which the mass can displace. In general, there are 6 degrees of freedom. Mass can translate in x direction, y direction, z direction. It can rotate about x axis, y axis, and z axis. So in general, there are 6 degrees of freedom for any mass. But in this particular case, we are allowing the mass to move only in one direction, that too translatory motion along x. Therefore, we call this system as single degree of freedom system. Are you with me till this point? Please type your response in chat box. Yes. And now we are interested in dynamic properties of this system, as in we need to calculate its natural frequency, and then there are certain things given in the question 2. So we are going to do that. But for that we need to characterize this single degree of freedom system. अभी तक हमने क्या क्या characterization किया है? So we have understood that the ground support here for this frame is the support like a wall shown here. So that support is mapped. The second thing that we have mapped is we have computed the mass of the system, which can be assumed to be lumped at the floor level. Have we? Yes. So what is that mass? Can you now tell me what is this mass? It is summation of these two. Are you with me? Please type your response in chat box. It is 4791 plus 1376.14. So can you tell me how much is that sum? Type your response in chat box. Tell me the sum. These many kgs. Yes. Yeah. Tell me how much it is. 6167.14 kg. That's all right. So 6167.14 kg. So we have also found out what is m here. Now the question is, how do we find out k? तो अब जरा देखो, what is the meaning of k? K is the stiffness. So it is the amount of force required for this mass to be moved by a unit displacement towards right. Do you agree with me? Stiffness is force required to move the mass towards right or left by unit displacement. Do you agree with me? Yes. So now let me draw this view of the frame. Let me call this as view A. View A. So how does the view A of the frame look like? So वो view मैं आपको यहाँ पे draw करके दिखाने वाला. So how does view A look like? It is going to look something like this. So even though I see there are only 2 columns, in fact there are 4 columns. There are 2 columns just behind these 2 columns. Are you with me? This is 2 meter. This is 3 meter. Happy? Please let me know if you have understood this part. Then I can proceed ahead. I am waiting for your response. Okay. And now what is the question that I'm asking? This u of t now here can be shown in this fashion. This is u of t. The amount by which the centroid of the slab is going to move towards right. In other words, the slab is going to move towards right. That is u of t. And now just look at what I am trying to do. To find out the K, I need to find out force F. Force F required to produce unit displacement towards right of this slab. So let me draw the deformed shape. So deformed shape is going to look something like this. I hope you agree with me. Would you agree with me? When I pull this slab towards right, the deformed shape is going to look something like this. Agreed? Type your response in chat box. Yes, I'm waiting. Please type your response in chat box. Yes. And now I want to find out this force required for this delta being equal to 1. So ये अगर 1 है तो ये force कितना लगेगा? That force is nothing but K. Because stiffness is force required to cause unit deformation. Do you agree with me? Force required to cause unit corresponding deformation is stiffness. So in other words, I'm asking a question, how much force would I require to cause this unit displacement marked as 1 in this diagram? Are you with me? Please type your response in chat box. Then I will go ahead. Yes. तो अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. This is like a fixed beam. This is fixed. This is fixed. And I want to move it by delta equal to 1. Delta equal to 1. So if I have to move this towards right by delta equal to 1, यहाँ पे किस direction में force लगाना पड़ेगा बताओ मुझे. इस direction में force लगाना पड़ेगा. Do you agree with me? Type your response in chat box now. This is very crucial. I will have to apply force in this direction to have unit displacement. Do you agree with me? Yes. So as a consequence, यहाँ पे reaction कौन से direction में होगा? It is going to be in this direction. Do you agree with me? चलो बताओ. Are you with me? Type your response in chat box. I am waiting for the response. Hello, am I audible? Yes. So now you can see these two reactions for equilibrium are going to be equal in magnitude but opposite in sign. Their lines of actions are parallel. So they are going to cause a clockwise movement. So to have this member in equilibrium at supports, there must be an anti-clockwise moments produced. Do you agree with me? देखो thinking process क्या है? To move this point towards right, I have to apply force towards right. As a consequence, there is going to be reaction towards left. This right and left pair of forces separated by distance, they produce clockwise movement. So to resist that clockwise movement, the support must provide anti-clockwise reactions. So do you agree with me? Somebody says, please allow Rajarshi to join the meeting, but I don't have any pending requests. He can join. I don't have any pending requests. Okay. So therefore, these are going to be the anti-clockwise reactions. And now can you tell me the formula for, we have already derived this in your structural analysis one. How much is this moment? So all of you will remember that it is 6 EI delta upon L square, where L is 3 in this case. Do you remember this formula? It is 6 EI delta upon L square. Type your response in chat box. If you don't remember the formula, at least do you remember that something of this sort was done in structural analysis? Yes. So this is 6 ci delta upon L square, जिसमें कि delta है 1, delta is 1 and L is 3. So therefore, this is going to turn out, this is going to be 6 by 9 EI. Do you agree with me? This moment is fixed by Vedang, no, not in plastic hinges. We are not dealing with plastic. We are dealing with the elastic analysis. When you have a delta equal to 1, then you have these moment reactions generated which are equal to 6EI upon L square. This is the formula that we have already derived in structural analysis 1. So if you are not aware of this, you can just refer back to that book and you will get this formula. Uh, but in this thinking process, what I am trying to do is you need not remember the sense of these moments. That comes easily. See, as delta is towards right, the force here has to be towards right. As a consequence, reaction has to be towards left. So this pair of forces, they produce clockwise movement. So the reactionary moments must be anti-clockwise. So sign need not be remembered. That's what I tried to display. So it is 6EI delta upon L square. So it is 6 by 9 EI. Or let us keep it as 6EI delta upon L square itself for time being. Let us keep it as 6EI delta upon L square itself. So this is also 6EI delta upon L square. And then how do you compute this reactions? So for that, you're aware that we have to make the algebraic sum of these two moments. That turns out to be 12EI delta upon L square and divide it once more by L. So these reactions are going to be 12EI delta upon L cube. Do you remember this? If not, just go back to structural mechanics and you will get all these formulations and derivations there. So these reactions are going to be 12EI delta upon L cube. So that means to move one of the columns towards right by 1 mm, how much is the force that I require? 12 EI delta upon L cube, but delta is 1. So I require a force of 12 EI delta which is equal to 1 upon L cube. इतना force लगने वाला है एक column को towards right by 1 mm से move करने के लिए. But in order to move this slab towards right by 1 mm, how many columns need to be moved towards right? 4 columns. So what is the total force that I will require? What will be the value of K to move this by unity? It will be 4 times 12 EI upon L cube. Do you agree with me? Please type your response in chat box. Have you understood? How did I arrive at K? Type your response in chat box. Yes. So therefore, this is going to be equal to 48 EI happy upon L cube. So therefore, the value of K now is from this we get the value of K here, another parameter in definition of this system. And what is that parameter? K has turned out to be 48 EI upon L cube. Do you agree with me? Happy? Type your response in chat box. I'm waiting for the response, then I will go ahead. Yes. Now let us go ahead. Now mass is given in kg. We will have the value of this u of t in meter. Let us decide that we are going to have u of t in meters. So if u of t is in meter, then I will have to give you the value of E in Newton per meter square. Do you agree with me? Value of E has to be given in Newton per meter square. Agreed? ई का यूनिट क्या रहता है? स्ट्रेस अपॉन स्ट्रेन. स्ट्रेन का कोई यूनिट नहीं रहता. सो स्ट्रेस का जो यूनिट है वही ई का यूनिट है. सो ईज यूनिट इज एमपीए, दैट इज न्यूटन पर एमएम स्क्वायर, बट वी वांट इट इन न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर. डू यू एग्री विथ मी? Type your response in chat box, then I will go ahead. Yes. Now comes this data in picture. You know the value of a grade of concrete. So can you tell me what is the value of E for that concrete? Type your response in chat box. What does IS 456 say? How much is the value of E when you know the grade of concrete? So E in MPa as given by the short-term modulus in MPa given by IS 456 is how much? Can you tell me? IS456 2000 कितना होता है? आरसीसी हुआ है ना आपका? चलो बताओ.
root of
हाँ या
FCK.
pardon?
So 0.05.
No, it is 5000 root FCK. Do you remember this?
Sir, only the units are different, right?
Yes, you need, but in MPA, if I have to write, I have to write it as 5000 root FCK. Do you agree with me? Vedant?
Yes, sir.
So what is the value of FCK? FCK in this case is characteristic compressive strength of a concrete, and that is given as 40. M40 stands for, M stands for mix, 40 stands for characteristic compressive strength. So characteristic compressive strength is that strength below which not more than 5% of the test results are expected to fall. So given all that, M40 FCK corresponds, FCK is 40 MPa. So can you tell me how much is 5000 root FCK? This is in Newton per mm square, that is in MPa. Tell me that. How much is that? 5000 root 40. How much it is? Yeah, somebody please let me know. 3162.77. But this is in Newton per mm square. देखो ये वैल्यू किसमें है? न्यूटन पर mm स्क्वायर में. एंड वी वांट दैट वैल्यू इन मीटर स्क्वायर. तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा. किससे? 10 पावर -3 इंटू 10 पावर -3, 10 पावर -6 से डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा. So for this value to be in Newton per meter square, I will have to multiply it by 10 power 6. Do you agree with me?
Sir, it is 31622. 31622.77. I wrote 3162.
Yes. So 31622.77 पर ये वैल्यू है न्यूटन पर mm स्क्वायर में. न्यूटन पर mm स्क्वायर को न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर में अगर कन्वर्ट करना है तो मल्टीप्लिकेशन इज पेंडिंग बाय 10 पावर 6. So that's what I have done. Do you agree with me now that E is this much into 10 power 6 Newton per meter square? Happy? Type your response in chat box. Then we will go ahead. I am waiting for the response. Response मिले बिना मैं आगे नहीं जाऊंगा. Have you got how we have obtained the value of E? Okay. Okay, so let us go ahead. Now, what is the value of I? So how do I obtain the value of I? So what is the cross section of this column? Cross section of column. I किसका calculate करना है? I have to calculate it. Moment of inertia is to be calculated for column. So what is the cross section of column? Column cross section is given as 0.3 meter by 0.3 meter. Do you agree with me? 0.3 meter by 0.3 meter. 300 mm मतलब 0.3 meter. Oh, if this is the cross section, anyway, it doesn't matter which dimension is B and which dimension is D because it is a square column. So what is the value of I? I is nothing but BD cube by 12. So 0.3 into 0.3 cube by 12. This is in meter raised to 4. This is the value of I. And what is the value of L? Value of L is 3. So if we substitute these values back in here, so what is the value of K? Can you substitute and tell me the value of K? I will also calculate with you. So I have to calculate 48 multiplied by E, that is 31622.77 multiplied by 10 power 6. This multiplied by 0.3. This multiplied by 0.3 into 0.3 cube, then divided by 12. ये हो गया I and this divided by 3 cube. So I got it as 37.95 into 10 power 6. Let me know if it is correct. So I got the value of K as 37.95 into 10 power 6. And what is the unit? The unit is Newton per meter. You have to understand the unit as well. So unit is going to be Newton per meter. Happy? This is very simple. You can find out the unit simply by substituting the units of EI. So what is the unit of E? Newton per meter square. What is the unit of I? Meter raised to 4. And what is the unit of length? Meter cube. So ये न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर में से ये मीटर रेस टू 4 है, तो ये मीटर स्क्वायर रह जाएगा. सो न्यूटन मीटर स्क्वायर अपॉन मीटर क्यूब इज नथिंग बट न्यूटन पर मीटर. So are you convinced that the unit of K is Newton per meter and mass is 6167.14 kg, and this is the value of K? Yes. So now we have defined K, we have defined M. So in other words, we have partially converted this system which represents a real life problem. This is real life problem. We have translated it into a corresponding single degree of freedom system, जो जिसका एनालिसिस हम ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं, जिसके फ्री वाइब्रेशन का एनालिसिस हमने ऑलरेडी क्लास में किया है. तो उसमें हमने इसको कन्वर्ट किया पार्शियली. व्हाई पार्शियली? बिकॉज आई स्टिल नो व्हाट इज द डोंट नो व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ सी. आर यू विथ मी? So I am yet to find out the value of C. But what is the first question? First question is to compute natural frequency of vibration in x direction. If I were to calculate the natural frequency, that is part 1 of the problem, I don't require C. देखो, part 1 of the problem says I want to calculate natural frequency. And we have discussed this already in the class. What is natural frequency? It is nothing. It is denoted by omega. When just give me a second. Natural frequency omega. This is in radian per second. This is given by what? Can somebody tell me? We have written the formula for this. What is natural frequency omega? Root of K by M. Do you remember that? This root K by M, we called it as its natural frequency in radian per second. Please type your response if you remember this. We have calculated this many times. Tell me if you remember this. Yes. So what is root K by M? So we have the value of K as 37.95. So this natural frequency will now be equal to 37.95 into 10 power 6 divided by M. So what is M? M is 6167.14. 6167.14. So can you tell me how much is the answer? What is square root of this? Square root of this ratio. So let me calculate with you. Square root of, in bracket, 37.95 into 10 power 6 divided by 6167.14. Divided by 6167.14. Is it 78.44? Please let me know. 78.44 radian per second. That's correct. Now, if I want to get this frequency in hertz, what should I do? So let me call the frequency in hertz as F. Then we know the relationship between the circular frequency that is in radian per second and F. 2 pi F is equal to omega. This is well-known relationship. So therefore, what is the natural frequency in hertz? It is going to be omega divided by 2 pi. So let me do that. It is 78.44 divided by 2 into 3.142. So can you tell me how much is that? So is it 12.48 hertz? Yes. So the natural frequency of this system in hertz is 12.48 hertz. That means if I plug this system and if I release it, then in 1 second, it is going to complete 12.48 oscillations. Can you imagine the speed? You pull this system towards right and leave it. It will complete 12.48 oscillations per second. That's far. That's how fast it is going to move. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. So this was the first part. Now let us go to the second part. In second part, we will complete it partially and then we will stop for today. And we will be meeting for our regular lecture at 4:45. Let us complete the second part partially. If damping of the system is 25% of the critical damping is the first condition that is given. So now let me write down part 2, solution of part 2. Can I compute C star? C star is critical damping. Critical damping. How do I calculate critical damping? So you already know that the critical damping is 2 root K into M. Is that right? Do you remember this? Let me also cross verify this. 2M omega. If I substitute C upon C star, sorry, omega is root K by M. So it is 2M root K by M. So it is root Km, 2 root Km. That's correct. Do you remember this formula? We had derived this in the previous class. Please type your response in chat box. The critical damping is 2 root K into M. So now let me substitute the values. So it is going to be 2 root of what is K and what is M? 37.95 into 10 power 6. 37.95 into 10 power 6. And what is the value of K? What is the value of M? 6167.14. 6167.14. This multiplied by this. So can you tell me the value of critical damping? So it is going to be 2 into square root of 6167.14 into 37.95 into 10 power 6, bracket complete. So if I'm correct, it turns out to be 967,559.7. And now let us try to figure out what is the unit. Till now, I never tossed in the theory class what could be the tossed a question, what could be the unit of critical damping. So let us work out what is the unit of critical damping. So 2 is a unitless quantity. What is the unit of K? It is Newton per meter. What is the unit of mass? It is kg. And entire this thing sits in square root. So now let us write down Newton. What is Newton? Newton is the unit of force, which is something similar to mass into acceleration. So can I replace Newton by kg meter per second square? Then you have meter sitting here, you have kg sitting here. Are you with me? So therefore meter is going to cancel out. This is in square root sign. In square root sign you have kg square upon second square. So this unit is going to be kg per second. Do you agree with me? Yes. So C star is equal to 967,559.7 kg per second. Now I'm going to give you a small task. What is that task? That task is, you already know the units of uh, viscosities. There are two types of viscosities, dynamic viscosity and I don't remember the other one, but you must have learned that in fluid mechanics. So tell me, this kg per second is unit of which kind of viscosity? So this C star in turn is, or this C in turn is related to the one of the viscosities. So that you are going to compare the units and you are going to tell me which viscosity. So now C star is given as this many kg per second. And what is given in the second problem? We have damping equal to 25% of the critical damping. So therefore parameter C here is going to be equal to 25%, that is 25 by 100 of C star. So it is 25 by 100 multiplied by 967,559.7. So tell me how much is that? So this answer divided by 4 is what it is going to be. So it is 241890. Tell me, is it correct? 241890 kg per second. Yes. So this is the value of C that we are going to take. So now we have defined our system completely. What is the complete definition? What is the complete transformation of this parent system into a single degree of freedom system? So I have to take this diagram down. We have found out all the parameters. What are the parameters? Have we found out the value of M? Yes. So I'm going to list that value here. So what is the value of M? Tell me. M is 6167.14. 6167.14 kg. What is the value of K? Value of K has been calculated and that is 37.95 into 10 power 6. Am I right? 37.95 into 10 power 6. Where did we calculate the value of K? K की value कहाँ? यहाँ पे calculate की थी ना? So how much is that? 37.95 into 10 power 6. What is its unit? It is in Newton per meter. And what is the value of C? The value of C is 241,890 kg per second. So with all this characterization of this single degree of freedom system, we are now ready to tackle the motion of this mass in x direction using the governing differential equation and appropriate boundary conditions. So this next part of the solution, we are going to do it in the next lab session. So with this description, I am now closing the discussion of lab session 1 for today. We will complete the remaining part in the next lab session discussion next week. Let us meet at 4:45 p.m. for our regular lecture.